Hello, welcome to Yoga Core Strengthening and Heart Opening for Absolute Beginners. Today we'll also be focusing on counter poses, how and when to use a counter pose. Let's begin by entering into our child's pose. You can get there from all fours, knees under the hips, maybe you come onto your forearms, kind of a puppy version of child's pose, elbows under shoulders, stack your fists, rest your forehead down, or continue to sit your hips back in the direction of your heels. Maybe you're on your forearms, maybe you have a block or your hands under your forehead. Possibly you lengthen your arms forward, keeping a bend at your elbows, and maybe opening your knees. Soften. Come into your breath awareness, transitioning from natural breath cycles into slower, deeper breath cycles. In and out through your nose. Inhaling your breath down to your belly into both of your lungs before completely exhaling all of your breath back out. And the breath is continuous. Spread your fingers wide, place them down, drawing your knuckles into the earth. Relax your shoulders down your back, but also allowing your shoulder blades to elevate slightly towards your ears. Now wrapping your armpits inward, external rotation of your shoulders. Take one more cycle of breath in child's pose. Come back here anytime you want. Next inhale, coming up to stack your joints in all fours, knees under the hips and wrists under the shoulders. We'll take a few cat-cow flows. So inhale, open your heart, gently arching from the mid and upper spine. As you exhale, round your spine, drop your tailbone towards the ground and release the crown of your head downward. Inhale to a heart opener. This is cow spine. Exhale, round your back. Moving the body in two opposite directions. Open, inhale, and close, exhale. Can also be called counter posing, helping us to bring balance into our body, our mind, our energy. Flow with your breath. Keep that little bend at your elbows. Slowly return back to center, so a neutral, long, stacked spine. We'll send our right leg back, possibly inhale, float your right leg up. Keeps the hips level with each other. So we're engaging our right glute muscle. We're using our core as we elevate belly button towards our spine. Continue to breathe, maybe floating onto your left fingertips, raise or extend your left arm forward, balancing table. Keeping head, neck, and spine into alignment, looking slightly downward. As you exhale, you can take a core flow called bird dog if you'd like. You're going to round your back, drawing your right knee and your left elbow towards each other. A gentle mid-abdominal twist. Inhale and extend for 3. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, fly it out with a little lift. Meet you back in balancing table. Release the left hand and the right knee. We'll switch sides, sending the left leg back. Inhale, floating it up. Right fingertips raise or extend the right arm forward, balancing table. Breathing here. As you exhale, if you'd like, bird dog core flow round your back, left knee, right elbow come towards each other. Inhale to extend. Exhale to flow for 3. And last 1. Inhale, balancing table, releasing the hand and the knee. Next, exhale, child's pose. When you're ready, maybe downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, elevate your hips, keeping the knees bent at least a little, maybe a whole bunch. Heels never have to touch the ground. Head, neck, and spine align. Maybe that means looking back towards your big toes. Allowing your shoulder blades to elevate slightly towards your ears and then softening shoulders away from your ears at the same time. External rotation of your shoulders as the armpits look gently inward. Next, inhale, transition to plank pose with your knees down. Roll your shoulders down your back and leave the heart open. Because we did the bird dog flow, a lot of rounding, curling in. Now we're going to exhale, lower slowly down to our bellies with the elbows tucked in, brushing the rib cage. For 3 to 5 low cobras, bringing the body in the opposite direction of the bird dog core flow. So your low cobra could be called a counter pose to your bird dog flow. Planting the hands with 1 to 2 pounds of weight into your hands. Draw your legs towards each other and root the tops of your feet down. Now inhale, looking downward. See if it feels okay to lift your heart away from the floor. Exhale, release. Inhale to your heart opener. Exhale, release. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale, down, maybe 2 more. When you finish your flow, come onto your belly, stack one hand on top of your other hand, and release your forehead into your hands. We strengthened at the front of our body, at the back of our body. Now we're taking some time to reset our breath. Maybe shift your hips one way, lengthening one side of your body, a gentle release in the hips and the low back. Come back to center. Shift your hips the other way and breathe. And come back to center. Inhale. Let's find our way to all fours. I'm practicing a side plank here for strength at our side obliques. We'll leave our left hand down as well as our left knee down, stacking left shoulder over left wrist, opening up towards our right side. Maybe you have the inner edge of the right foot down, or maybe the sole of the right foot is down. We're thinking of stacking our hips, right hip on top of the left. Try not to open the front of your right hip towards the sky. So we're feeling that alignment in the hips like they're stacked to strengthen our core. Looking down to the side or upward, it really doesn't matter. Keeping head, neck, and spine aligned in your side plank. Maybe right arm reaches out. It can reach upward. It can draw forward of your head lightly. Keep lifting up and away from the earth through the lower side oblique. Let's take one more cycle of breath here. We'll slowly switch sides. Think of stacking your joints. The right knee stays down, the right hand is down. Right wrist under right shoulder. If the right wrist feels better, slightly forward of the right shoulder, that is fine. And keeping a gentle bend at the left knee, stacking the hips. Play with where you want the left arm to go, what feels the best. Remember to send energy upward towards the sky. Let's do one more full deep cycle of breath. And slowly returning to find your way into all fours. Exhaling, child's pose. Resetting your breath. When you feel ready, maybe finding your way slowly to your downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, plank. Knees can be up, knees can be down. Exhale, lowering all the way onto your belly. We'll take another heart opener here. This one is also great for beginners. It's called Sphinx Pose. It's similar to the low cobra, but we'll be up on our forearms, sliding the hands forward, placing palms down into the ground. Notice that the elbows are stacked right underneath my shoulders. Loosening the hips down the legs and relaxing into the feet. Draw your shoulders down your back, open your hearts, looking downward or forward. Without moving your hands or your arms, act like you're drawing them back towards your body. Any arching backward is happening at the mid and upper spine, where most of the mobility in our back is. Our low back is lengthened and it stays stable. Inhale, feel the heart open. If it feels beneficial to press through your palms and float the forearms as well as the elbows from the ground, do that. And this variation of Sphinx might be called a high cobra or seal pose. Next, exhale, rebending the elbows, releasing your forearms down. And grounding your hands, resting your forehead on your stacked hands. Resetting your breath. If you want, you can try a locust pose, drawing your legs towards each other, extending your arms back beside your body, palms down, shoulders down your back towards each other. Inhale, lift your heart like you're doing a low cobra without the hands down. Keep the spine long, and then decide if you want to lift the legs. This pose is more about length than height. So think of extending energy outward the crown of your head and through your toes. Maybe one more cycle of breath. And an exhale to release. Bring your low cobra down, stack your hands. Maybe sending your hips one way for a cycle of breath. And then the other direction. As you become ready, finding your way maybe into a child's pose to reset your breath, or your downward facing dog. Possibly exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhale here, and with the next breath out, finding your way slowly into a seated position for boat pose. For boat, we're going to keep our feet grounded. We'll bring our hands back from our hips, either palms down or make fists with your hands. Start to lean back and find your core, making sort of a C curve with the torso. And keep the heart open, shoulders down your back, fist distance between your chin and your chest. The eyebrows relax and the jaw is soft. Maybe bringing one or both arms forward. If you're doing one at a time, just alternating. Maybe bringing one leg up at a time, keeping the knees bent, or both feet leaving the ground at once. Kind of lift the heart in your boat pose, maybe one more cycle of breath. And slowly bringing the feet down, finding your way into seated. Bend the knees, open up the hips, drawing soles of your feet together. Inhale, long spine. Exhaling with a long spine, maybe folding forward towards the legs if that feels nice. Forget about what it looks like and focus on how you feel. Maybe one more cycle of breath here. And while opening the hips is not a counter pose really to boat pose, sometimes after either a lot of standing or a lot of core work or heart opening, I do like to include a hip opener to help relax the low back and release in and around the hips as well. So when you're ready, we're going to find our way onto our back. You can always come down on your side or roll back. A counter pose to boat pose is bridge pose, as boat has us curling inward, the torso towards the legs. Bridge pose opens up the front of the body and strengthens at the back of the body. So opposite actions are counter poses. We'll bring our feet down. Ankles will probably begin forward of the knees. Eventually, knees will probably stack over the ankles. And I'm going to try to keep my knees aligned with my hips. Bringing the hands and the arms down into the ground. As long as this feels beneficial, we're going to press through our feet. Inhale, rolling up, sacrum, low back, mid back, just one vertebrae of our spine at a time until the hips are high in our glute bridge. Keep actively pressing hands and feet as well as the arms into the ground. Feel how the hip flexors at the front of the hips are lengthening. 2 more cycles of breath if you want. Even the toes are down, but a lot of weight in the heels. Next exhale, we're going to reverse our motions and slowly roll down one vertebrae of our spine at a time. A great way to recover from bridge once the hips come down is take the arms out at shoulder level, palms open, and slowly exhale, sending your legs downward one way. They don't have to come all the way down. Inhale, knees up, and exhale, legs over the other direction. Windshield wipering the legs for a gentle mid-abdominal twist. If you want, look away from your legs over your opposite shoulder. One more time. To counter pose for our bridge, we're going to practice child's pose on our back. Exhale, hugging under the thighs or over our shins. And it might feel nice to rock from side to side. Bringing balance into our body, mind, and energy. As we practice strengthening at the front and the back of our body, opening up the heart and folding into ourselves. And from here, another counter pose for bridge pose. Since bridge pose has us with the throat really closed off, we're going to come up and practice any variation of heart opening. Maybe from crisscross applesauce, we're going to hug a finger or two or interlace our fingers. And possibly inhaling to start lifting your heart forward, or upward, any arching back from the mid and upper spine. The low back stays stabilized and lengthens. And if you feel really good here, you might draw your hands down to the ground, back from the hips. You might come onto your forearms, elbows under shoulders. Keep looking forward, look up, or it does feel very intense to look back in a fish pose. Maybe legs staying crisscross. Bend the knees and ground the feet, or lengthen the legs, point the toes. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Make your way down onto your back. Bend the knees, ground the feet. Lengthen your arms with the palms up, windshield wipers. One more time. And this time, bring your legs over to your right side. Curl into a ball. Maybe exhale, look up and over towards your left, twisting from the mid-abdominals. That means from the rib cage up, we add rotation. Resetting our spine. One more cycle of breath on this side. Inhale, coming through center. Exhaling, legs to the left, look up and over towards your right. And come back to center. Hug the legs in. Maybe drawing your hands anywhere on the legs. Keep drawing tailbone down to the ground. Possibly the hands hug your feet if that feels nice. Butterfly hip opener on your back to release the low back. Open the hips, maybe a happy baby. Remember, hands can be anywhere. Maybe they're on the feet or the thighs. Flexing your feet up to the sky. Continue to draw your tailbone down into the ground. Tuck your chin and relax your jaw. If you feel really tight here, stay still. If you feel pretty open in the hips, some people like to rock from side to side. Reclosing the hips, drawing the feet down. Maybe you decide to roll to one side of your body. Making your way into a seated position. Side body stretch. One more thing to help us release at the low back, and the sides of our bodies will lengthen. Bring our left hand down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, leaning over to your left. Inhale, sit up. Round the right hand. Exhale, lengthen and side bend to your right. Inhale, rising up. And take any form of relaxation or meditation that you would like to practice from here. You can stay seated, maybe recline onto your side or your back.